Hey everyone, it's George here, and today I'm eating only chickpeas for the whole day. To be clearer, the challenge today is to eat chickpea-based recipes all day long, and why you ask? Well, they're nutrient dense, they're delicious, and they're extremely versatile. And what else would you want to be doing on your day off work? So let's get started. I'm going to have a look at what I want to make for breakfast.
As I'm not working today, I've got time for a slower breakfast, so I'm going to make a chickpea shakshuka, a hearty and spicy tomato sauce with peppers and onions. Typically it has eggs in, but I'll probably just dollop on some vegan yogurt for the creaminess. Before I start any prep, I always like to secure my chopping board with some wet kitchen roll. I also like to have a Tupperware nearby for any food waste, and some spoons, so I'm ready with everything nearby and you can focus on cooking.
Now there's only one way to protect yourself when chopping onions. I think I'm ready.
With the onions, we also need some sliced red pepper. Then we're going to get 1 clove of garlic. Just kidding, that's definitely not enough. We're going to go for 3 cloves of garlic, and we're just going to crush them and finely slice them, and then we can get into the cooking. I always like to have some garlic granules or some garlic paste in the fridge for when I ever run out of fresh garlic. Heat up a nice glug of olive oil, and then we're going to add in some cumin seeds and some coriander seeds, which are going to add lovely little fragrant bursts of flavour to the shakshuka. Let them sizzle for a little bit so that they release their aromas into the oil, and then we're going to add the peppers and the onions. Then we're going to let these cook for about 5 to 8 minutes or until they start to get some colour on them. In general, when cooking, the more colour you've got on something, the more flavour there's going to be, or at least until you burn it. Add in the garlic and let that cook for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to add in some lovely vibrant red sweet smoked paprika.
There are many varieties of paprika. There are Hungarian ones which tend to be air dried, whereas the Spanish ones are smoke dried. So we're going to be going for a Spanish one. I've got a nice sweet one here, and it's going to add a nice warming smoky flavour to the shakshuka. If you want it a bit spicier, then go for a hot variety.
Next I've got some harissa, which adds more smoky flavour and a little bit of spice as well. Also going to add in a little ground cumin, and we're going to let those spices toast and release their oils and flavours into the pepper and onions. Some may catch a little bit on the pan, but that's fine because we're going to deglaze the pan with some red wine vinegar. Deglazing just means removing all the caught bits on the pan so that the flavour goes into the sauce rather than staying on the pan. Then 1 can of chopped tomatoes. Of course we're going to wash out the can with a little water, then the chickpeas, and optionally we're going to add in some lovely finely chopped preserved lemon. You could add some lemon zest or lemon juice. I also did add a little pinch of sugar just to help balance out the flavours. Stir this through and let everything simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the sauce thickens up nicely. I'm going to serve this shakshuka with a nice hunk of toasted bread, so I want this to be thick enough to scoop onto that bread. Spoon on some thick Greek-style vegan yogurt, and then I've got some harissa mixed with a little olive oil to drizzle on, and lastly some fresh coriander. If you don't like coriander, feel free to use some chives or some parsley. This is a lovely breakfast to serve up to friends or family on the weekend when you're having a nice slow start to the day.
It's hearty, it's smoky, it's got a lovely sweetness coming from those peppers and the onions, and it's just the perfect start to a day off. Let's see what else we're going to cook. It's probably going to include some chickpeas. So I've decided I want to make some savoury chickpea pancakes for lunch today. So we're going to make the batter now, and then it can rest before we use it later on.
So this is a recipe I found online, so I'll link that in the description box. I did make a couple of adjustments with the ingredients, but it is fairly similar. Start by mixing the chickpea flour with some water or veggie stock. We're going to start with half the water, whisk until smooth, and then add in the rest. You want a fairly runny batter, almost like a crepe batter, as it will thicken a little while it rests. I'm also going to add a touch of baking powder with some cumin and some turmeric. And because I find these pancakes can be a little dry, by adding in some grated carrot or any veggies you have, this will help provide some extra moisture. also some fresh herbs to help season the bland chickpea flour. Then I'm just going to set that aside, ready for lunch.
So I've just got back from the gym and I need to refuel my body with some protein and some carbs. So we're going to make a quick smoothie, of course, using some chickpeas.
Into a blender, I'm going to add some water, followed by cocoa powder, a good dollop of peanut butter or any nuts of your choice, 1 banana, 5 grams of creatine, which helps with muscle growth and has some cognitive benefits, and then we're going to add 2 mature dates. Then of course for chickpeas, not going to go too crazy here, but a good handful, and then also I'm going to add a scoop of protein powder. I'd usually add 2 scoops, but since we've got the chickpeas, this should be enough. A couple of ice cubes because hot smoothies are just not the one, and then blend until smooth, or at least mostly smooth.
Really thick and chocolatey, you can't taste the chickpeas, which isn't really a surprise after adding all those other ingredients, but it is tasty and it does have the added nutrients from those chickpeas, so that's a really nice little snack to keep me going.
So the batter has rested and I've just heated a little bit of oil in a non-stick pan. We're going to add a good ladle of the batter and spread it around the pan. I made these about 1 centimeter thick, but you can make the batter thinner like a crepe if you want to. Once the pancake looks mostly cooked on top, you can give it a flip. You could of course use a spatula to flip them, which would be a little bit easier. They can be quite delicate, so just be careful. To serve with these chickpea pancakes, I'm just going to make some quick fried mushrooms, and for flavour I'm going to add a good amount of grated ginger and garlic, and then I'm going to finish them with some light soy sauce. I almost always use light soy sauce over dark soy sauce, as it's really easy to make your dish too salty when using the dark varieties. Now to serve, I'm going to add a good dollop of hummus. You really want to serve a dip or a sauce with these as they can be slightly dry. I'd also recommend eating them fresh as they're not so great cold, so make sure you do heat them up. They're also high in protein, so that's a nice little perk to them. I also finished mine off with a little drizzle of chili jam that I had in the fridge.
Those mushrooms are delicious. The chickpea pancake is lovely and fragrant from the spices and the herbs. It is slightly dry, but with the mushrooms and the hummus you can't really tell. A really nice quick lunch or light dinner.
The last dish of the day is a really tasty one. I fancied some tacos, so I started by making some vibrant pickled red onions. Since I wasn't making these in advance, the key to quick pickling is to heat up the liquor. I've got some red wine vinegar mixed with an equal quantity of water, a few teaspoons of sugar, and just a little pinch of salt. You can even simmer the onions for a minute or so, and they're going to go a beautiful pink colour. I think tacos is all about the condiments, so I'm making a quick coriander and pistachio pesto here. Simply crush the garlic into a paste, then add your coriander and do the same. If you've only ever had basil or sun-dried tomato pesto, then this is a really nice alternative to have with more spicier dishes. Next, add the pistachios and a little nutritional yeast, and as you crush those pistachios, their bright green centre is going to reveal itself and give you a lovely green pesto. Then to freshen it up, we're going to add the juice of half a lime, followed by some black pepper and a good couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Muddle this together, you could switch to a spoon now, and there you've got a beautiful, vibrant, sweet and nutty pesto that's going to go amazing on these tacos. For the filling, I'm going for some walnuts and chickpeas. Recently I've been loving the texture of walnuts in these sorts of dishes. For its crumbly, crunchy, almost buttery texture, it's just really good. Give it a really quick blend, you want to keep it fairly chunky, and then we're going to add it into a hot pan with some olive oil and fry it for about 6 to 8 minutes or until it's toasted nicely and has a bit of crunch to it. Then add in your Mexican seasoning. This one has cumin, coriander, paprika, oregano and a few other spices. Then for an umami hit of flavour, we're going to add in some light soy sauce and a touch of liquid smoke. And then you're going to have a delicious taco filling ready to use. For the corn tacos, if you've got a gas hob, it's nice to get a little bit of char on them. Sometimes I get a bit carried away and they set on fire, so try not to do that. If not, you can just heat them up in a hot pan. Then optionally, you can wrap them around something like a rolling pin so that while they cool, they sort of hold their shape a little bit. To assemble the tacos, I'm going in with some avocado for creaminess, followed by the chickpea and walnut filling, then a good drizzle of the coriander and pistachio pesto, and lastly, those refreshing pickled red onions. Tacos are a great one to do with friends, as you can have lots of different fillings and everyone can customize their own to their liking. Wow, that is so good. I could definitely eat a few of these. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out this video for some more bean related goodness.